robotics, high-risk blockchain. The Internet of Things is certainly one aspect. A lot of the real-time sensors now, you get the real-time information, you don't have to wait for it. So I think people are now realising that they can get the information quicker and therefore they can make decisions quicker. I think that obviously automation and robotics is also going to fundamentally change things, where in a lot of cases you would have had humans carry out a lot of operations. Now we're able to automate those or replace humans with robots. There's positives and negatives for that. I think one of the big positives is from the safety perspective. So you can actually remove humans from frontline high-risk areas and replace those, which makes those operations a lot easier. But I think as well, robots don't tend to have discretion when they're making decisions. They're actually quite directed. So in a lot of cases, they're quite repeatable in terms of the results that they'll deliver. So the decisions that you make actually end up being executed, which I think is very important. More specifically in mining, I think blockchain will be one of the emerging technologies that starts to come into play. I don't think the mining companies have necessarily thought a great deal about how to utilise blockchain. For example, I can see it opening up areas where there's a lot of small mines that can't necessarily ship a ship's worth of product themselves very regularly, but using blockchain and understanding where each of the components of the production had come from, and therefore where the revenue needs to go, you'll then, I think, see a lot of consolidation of some of the smaller operators into shipping out of one area. So I can see it opening up, say, the Midwestern Gascoyne region from a lot of those smaller magnetite producers that may actually now become financial. The technology's there in a lot of cases and developed. I think the challenge is that mining companies aren't necessarily thinking about how to use it in their environment. So they're well established in a lot of other areas, but it's that use case in mining that I think people need to turn their minds to. So I think that's an area we can all help in, is just work with those organisations and get them thinking a little differently about the transferability of the outcomes that you'll see. So I think, blockchain's made some big steps forward. So they're now using it for bunkering of fuel for vessels and ships out on the ocean. That used to be an area where a percentage of the bunkered fuel would disappear from the records, but with blockchain now they're really working closely there. So Minerva out of UAE, I think, have been pretty instrumental in rolling a new system out there with blockchain. So that's certainly available. Probably the area that is still developing that needs a bit more work is in the simulation and modelling space. So a lot of the new areas of work around complex systems frameworks and agent-based models is still very much sitting in the health space. And I think, bringing that in so we can incorporate the effects of human behaviours and those elements into supply chain thinking and the broader mining operations is going to be important. And there hasn't been much thinking in that space, so there's still going to be a fair bit of work there. And then I think generative AI is something everyone's catching up on at the moment. Some organisations just go, no ChatGPT for you, and stop everybody from using it. Some organisations just say free rein, we trust the judgment of the people. And then I think there's a more prudent line somewhere in the middle where organisations are, I guess, filtering what people are able to ask, and then also filtering what material comes back from the query to sort of make sure it fits in with the broader community expectations.